Now, Wednesday was supposed to be the deadline day for all the trade deals. It's now been shifted to August 1st. Let's bring in former Trump economic advisor Stephen Moore to talk more about this. Stephen, thanks so much for being here with us this afternoon to sort through some of this. We now know that the president and his administration shifting this deadline to August 1st. Do you read that as more of a buffer time for them to try and get more deals, more frameworks put together?
Yeah, I do, Jessica. And, it's interesting because this whole debate started back in, I guess, early March or late February. Look, the markets never like these discussions about tariffs because the financial markets and businesses don't like tariffs too much. But it is interesting that since about the middle of April, Trump has been able to rack off several victories with countries like the UK and others. And so now he's basically, I think, shot at the bow at two of our major trading partners, Korea and Japan, and saying, get a deal done, get at the table, let's get this done, or else you're going to face these pretty punitive tariffs.
And at this point, you noted some of the deals they've gotten done, but there aren't a ton at this moment during this 90-day pause. The Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, said this morning he does expect a few more in the next 48 hours. Do you think that is realistic for us to start seeing more of these imminently?
Look, I think it's almost like a game of musical chairs where, remember that game when you played when you were a kid and you're walking around and there's one chair too few. And no country wants to be the nation that's left behind and doesn't get a deal cut. And Trump, I think, strategically has gone to these countries and saying, cut a deal now. You'll get the best deal possible. Remember, with a lot of these countries like Japan and Korea, it's extremely important for their economies to be able to trade with the United States. It's a major, major part of their economy. It's a bit of a game of chicken. Who's going to blink first? And Trump is basically betting that these countries have more to lose. And I actually think that you will see trade deals. I don't know if the next 48 hours, but I do think you're going to see them in the next couple of weeks. And this will be to the benefit of the United States because these other countries will have to lower their tariffs, which are in some cases punitive on American agriculture, our dairy products, our automobiles, our manufactured products. So we could come out of this ahead.
And you did mention, and we're looking at the numbers right now while you and I are talking, that the markets don't love when this gets pushed to the forefront. They are down today amid this uncertainty.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think this could be a repeat of what we saw in the spring? Do you think the administration should be worried, is worried about that?
Well, to replay what happened, because remember, by mid-April, the stock market was way down, the economy was doing poorly, and then all of a sudden you got some of these trade deals, and all of a sudden things really improved. I mean, the difference between the economy in April and today is really profound. So yes, I do think if Trump is able to pull off some of these big trade deals, it's going to be, you'll see a big bounce in the market. But remember, the country that matters the most in these trade negotiations is China, and because China is, our biggest adversary and our biggest, the second biggest economy in the world. So that's the one that really counts the most. And I have to say, I don't know where things stand with that. The president says he has a deal on paper, but I haven't seen anything signed yet.
Yeah, and I am curious. Have you spoken to the president about any of this recently?
Well, not in the last few months. The president knows I'm not a huge fan of the tariffs, but I do like when he gets these trade deals done because I really believe if Trump can pull this off, we could, because I'm a free trade guy, I think we could have freer and fairer trade with America getting a better deal from some of these countries, and that would mean more jobs here. So who could oppose that?
All right, Stephen Moore, thanks for your time this afternoon. We sure do appreciate it.